Well, the first thing would be to let the antifreeze out. Need two hands. When I'm taking all the antifreeze out to get to the lower parts of where the antifreeze is in the motor, I need 3 5-gallon buckets. They don't fill up completely to the top, so it's probably about 12 gallons that winds up coming out. I'm going to just use 2 because I only have to get to this point here, which is right at the base level of the head. It's all the lower I got to get is out of the head. What's in the block, I don't have to have that out. I don't know if 1 bucket's going to be enough or not. I'll just take 2 out. That's why I got 2 buckets standing there. I did go ahead and take the cap off. It helps the antifreeze come out a little quicker. That's probably all I need to take out. That'd be enough, I think. In my case, I'm going to take off as least as possible, as always. And in my case, it's going to be this hose that I got my fingers tapping right here. And that hose, I remember putting this on recently. Well, it was this past fall. I'm just going to take these 2 clamps off and then slide the hose all the way back onto the hose here, onto the pipe, because that's about what I have to do in order to be able to, because the pipe's not going to move. You can see the pipe, it can't go forward because it's going to be up against this alternator and AC bracket. The upper pipe, which is up here, I think we got room to just raise that thing up and leaving it on the thermostat housing, but I'm going to take this off, not the whole tank, just these 2 bolts, and I'm going to push that up, and I'm going to see if I can have enough room doing that to just lift this thing off. Well, it's not going to go up very far with this hose, so I guess I'll have to take this hose off too. You just got to take off whatever you got to take off and leave on as much as you can get away with so that you won't have as many parts to put back on. I'm really having a time trying to muscle this hose back across here, but it's a fairly new hose, so I don't want to replace it. I suppose if you got an old hose, but these are expensive too because they're cut to size and they're silicone. But you could cut that off and just replace it. But you have to slide the new one all the way onto this pipe and then line everything up and then slide it back over. You probably need a little grease on there to do that. Or at least some antifreeze, some straight antifreeze. Makes some pretty good lube. There, I got it. Got it off, got it slid back. Got that tank off on this side, couple of hoses off of it, and then flipped it over. Got this big upper radiator pipe kind of off, just out of the way there some. And now I'm ready to go ahead and take these bolts out here. Looks like there's about 4. Take those off and then get to my thermostats. Well, these thermostats got to go. This is the housing. Got it off. Thermostat stay in the housing. This thing should not be stuck in there that tight. I don't know what is going on here. But I'm going to go ahead and get them out of there. Oh right, I got these out and I was mistaken. They don't work the way they do on a car. They're supposed to be wide open like that. I just figured out how they work. They're inside these seals that are wrapped around it in there. And what it does is this spring will relax when it gets to a certain temperature, 180 degrees or whatever. And then this will go up like that. And when it does that, it lets the water go in from the bottom side and come out the top, or vice versa. This is the bottom here. Lets the water go from the bottom through and come out the top so it can go out to the radiator hose. So when it goes through here, but it can't get around that rubber seal until this thing opens up. When this thing opens up, then it goes through that. It goes through on this side and comes out over here. Okay, I got to go up buy some new thermostats. They're probably okay, but it needs new rubbers. And there's also a seal. There's a seal down in here with a lip on it. Can't see it right now because it's all brown. And on this side too, of course. I'm back with these thermostats. I've got a much smaller gasket on this new one, and that's because the old one, the gasket's all swollen out of shape. Not sure what did that. I don't know if the what do you call it, the stop leak had something to do with that, or what. I don't know why that did that, but I think that's why this thermostat's got stuck open. I think they were just jammed and weren't able to close because of this gasket was swollen up on it. There's also this little seal here that's down in there. I'm not really worried about that. I'm going to change it because it's on the video, but it just goes down in a hole down in there, and then this punches down through it. It's a tight fit, but it goes down in there like that. Better pull this out a little bit, sorry. So I'm going to take one of these thermostats. I'm going to take both of them, put them in the kitchen. I got a pan of water on the stove right now. I'm going to drop one in the water when the water starts getting hot, and pull it out and set it next to this one and see what the difference is, and see what's actually opening up and closing on it. Needs a little more water. Maybe the rest of the spring has to be underwater. See, on this one, if I can get in the camera there, on this one, this piece on the inside is sitting tight on top of that gasket. See, it's down in there a little bit. This one's finally coming up off of that gasket, but it's not coming up by much, just a little bit right there. Oh, here we go. It's on the bottom side. It opened up down here. Look in there. See that? It did open up. Let that boil in there some more. There, see the gap there now? It does open up. But boy, it has to get hot to do it though. See how long it takes it to close back down. It's closing back down. See how long it takes for this one to open up. Nothing seriously wrong with that seal. That'll still fit on there fairly snug. But I'm changing it because it's part of the job. So I knocked one of them out. I'm going to clean that hole a little bit. I'm just going around that bore that seal goes in with the side of a screwdriver. Just my preference. I don't know that it needs to be done. It's seated in there pretty good without a socket. I was going to find a socket that big, but I don't think I need to. I do need to go get an extension. I don't want to use the sharp edge of a screwdriver. I'll just tap it in with an extension. Okay. You do have to be careful putting this in. I didn't show you how I got it out yet. I'll do that on the other one, because it'll go in there too far and then you might damage it trying to get it back out and do it again. It does not seat against a shoulder inside there, at least not on mine. I'm going to go on and leave the video run the whole time tapping this in so that you know how long it takes. Because if I speeded it up and you saw me do it in 10 seconds, you might think you're doing something wrong if it's taking too long. It's going to take me 2 or 3 minutes to get that in there. Good. Okay, now we've got a good 1/16 of an inch. We got a heavy 1/16 over here on this side, but over here we got about a 1/16. I could tap this down just a little bit again over here. It doesn't need it, I don't think. Because if it goes in too far, it'll fall right through the bottom. That's good. I'm going to leave it like that. As far as getting the other one out, see, it fell right through there. So thermostats go in the same way. Just push them in. You might want to wet this a little bit or wet the seal a little bit. A little antifreeze or spit or something. Push that in. Done. Well, it's not. I want to clean the top of this off first. I'm going to go get a scraper and do that. I got one here that's not too sharp, but a little bit sharp. Yeah, you want to do the motor side of this too with the scraper, get the rust off of it, dirt. Got that block cleaned out, or cleaned off on the top just with a regular scraper. And let's see, I don't know where I put the scraper. I was going to show it, but it's the same one I used on this thing here. I'm going to put this on. I need both hands to do it. Got to set the camera down. Well, I guess that'd be the end of the video. Just put it back together the way you took it apart, and then fill up your antifreeze. Then you got to purge. If you got a purge valve like mine has on this upper pipe, you got to purge that when it warms up and starts circulating. It might have to be purged again. Let some of that air out of that valve there, that little valve right there. If you don't have one of those, then I don't know, hopefully it'll purge itself just over the radiator cap. Alright, thanks for watching.